What's going on, everybody? I hope you had wonderful winter holidays. I certainly had a blast and a very relaxing time during the holidays. I very much needed this vacation after the, crazy busy fall semester that I just had. But it's a new year and I am back on this channel, and let's talk about some movies. And let's start off the new year with my top 5 disappointing movies of 2017. Now, just before I get into it, just to, clarify one thing. These movies I'm going to mention on this list are not necessarily bad movies. These are just movies that, I had, some expectation going into it, but ultimately, kind of let me down. And if you enjoyed any of the movies I mentioned here, that's okay. That's wonderful. I'm not forcing you to agree with me or anything. This is just my personal opinion. So without further ado, these are my top 5 disappointing movies of 2017. Alright, so let's start off the list with Justice League. Now, again, if you enjoyed the movie, that's okay, that's wonderful. I am glad you enjoyed the movie. But personally, I found this movie very disappointing for a number of reasons, and one of them is that it felt incomplete. Now, famously, the movie went through extensive reshoots, and Zack Snyder had to step down after what happened to his daughter. It was a very tragic thing. So Joss Whedon came in to help with the reshoots and rewrite some of the scenes. And there's the thing with Henry Cavill's mustache, which I'm not even going to talk about. And then there's the whole ridiculous mandate that was put out by Warner Brothers, which was that the movie had to be under 2 hours. It can't go over the 2-hour mark, and apparently Zack Snyder's first cut was supposed to be like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So after that, everything made sense to me because they clearly cut out so many scenes, so much stuff that was supposed to develop the new characters like the Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg, and clear out like Steppenwolf's motivation, because his motivation still remains a mystery to me. And then the thing with the mother box and the Superman not wearing black suit. So the movie was all over the place. By far my favorite part of the movie was Superman, but he's in the movie for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe less. I really wanted Justice League to be great, but unfortunately, that was not the case. At number 4, I have Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Now, I'm a big fan of the first Kingsman movie. I actually saw it again before seeing The Golden Circle, and it's a good, fun spy action movie. I have some problems with it, mainly the church massacre sequence, but overall it's a well done, very entertaining movie, so I was naturally excited for the sequel. The thing about The Golden Circle is that it's just so baggy. There's the addition of statesmen, which they don't really do much with. There's the whole war on drugs commentary, which is a fine idea, but it's not executed well. And then they bring back Colin Firth's character, but turns out he doesn't remember anything, so Eggsy and Merlin spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to bring the old Harry back. And then there's Eggsy's relationship with his girlfriend, which is kind of cute, but there's nothing more to it. And then there's Elton John cameo, which turns out isn't really a cameo. And then there's one unforgivable scene in which Eggsy plants some sort of GPS device inside of a woman by fingering her. I mean, granted, the first Kingsman movie was silly and playful, but this movie is just stupid and crude. Moving on to number 3, and we have The Fate of the Furious. Now, I don't think this is a bad movie at all. I think it's very well made, and as far as, sheer escapism goes, I think it does what it sets out to do perfectly fine. My problem with it was that it was tonally uneven. Like, on the one hand, it's this really silly, cartoony action movie in which the rules of physics do not exist. And on the other hand, it has this really serious story involving Dom and his kid and Charlize Theron playing the villain, and these two just didn't come together for me. There's a scene where Charlize Theron's character shoots a woman in the head right in front of Dom and his baby, and that's a very dramatic scene. But it just feels like it belongs to a completely different movie. And I know that's such a weird thing to complain about, the fact that this brainless, ridiculous car action movie decided to do something new with the story and decided to take itself a little more seriously. But I gotta be honest, part of me really missed the pure silliness of the last 4 movies. I don't think this movie is bad at all, but I was just really, the tonal inconsistency really, struck me. And I was kind of disappointed by that. Moving on to number 2, and we have King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Yeah, it was garbage. Now, when I first saw the movie, I didn't entirely hate it. Like, even in my review, I said, it has potential, Charlie Hunnam is great, and I love the way Guy Ritchie created this, mystical world, and I would love to see him expanding this universe and exploring it in the sequel that's never gonna happen. But I also didn't like his editing style. I didn't like most of the visual effects. I thought a lot of the action sequences were not memorable, but it wasn't like one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I thought it was fine. But this is one of those movies that the more I thought about it, the more I started to really, really, really dislike. And I kept thinking, if Guy Ritchie didn't do that usual, Guy Ritchie thing, and this happened, and that happened, and this and that, and wait, slow down, what happened? And let's rewind a little bit, and this happened, that, and that. If he didn't do any of that in King Arthur, would it have worked? And I think my answer is yes. I think if he just focused on telling this story without being, Guy Ritchie, I think the movie would have worked. What a shame. And here it is, the most disappointing movie I saw in 2017, and that's Alien Covenant. Now, as a longtime defender of Prometheus, I was really looking forward to this movie, and more importantly, I was really excited to find out the answers for the questions raised in Prometheus. And what I got was something more visceral and not so cerebral. It was just a conventional monster movie in which human characters make a ton of mistakes and gets eaten by these weird creatures, and it's all gory and violent, and that's it. The thing I love about Prometheus is that it's a very ambitious, idea-driven movie for the most part. I mean, yes, it does turn into an alien movie towards the very, very, very end of the movie, but up until then, it's just basically about people, scientists, trying to figure out the mystery behind the origin of human race. And that was so fascinating to me. And this movie kind of ditches that idea, ditches everything, almost everything that was in Prometheus, and just creates this another alien movie. And that's not what I wanted. And I really don't like the fact that Ridley Scott is trying to connect the dots and give us the backstory behind the xenomorphs. Like, the thing that makes the first Alien fascinating is that we know nothing about this creature. The creature is right there, and now it's eating people. That's scary. We know nothing about it. And now that this movie underperformed at the box office, I really hope they will just cancel all the, Alien Covenant sequels and just ditch the whole thing and maybe, bring back Neil Blomkamp's Alien movie and do a proper Alien sequel, not the prequels, just another proper Alien movie. And I don't know, or maybe just leave this franchise alone for a while. Can you do that, Hollywood? So these are my top 5 disappointing movies of 2017, and I would love to know your thoughts. What movies disappointed you the most in 2017? Let me know in the comment section below. And my top 10 favorite movies video is coming out next week, so keep an eye on that. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel as well, and I will see you guys very, very soon.